Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Tonight I'm going to be doing a review of a crime film from France, French language English subs, released in the year 2009, directed by Jacques Audiard, and this movie is called A Prophet. And the story to A Prophet is as follows. A 19-year-old troublemaker starts a 6-year sentence in a notorious prison, a concrete hell where violence is the only language understood. Taken under the wing of a powerful mafia boss, he is initiated into a vicious and brutal way of life. As the years pass, he proves his worth, moving up the ranks within the prison. However, he has his own plans, and they don't involve taking orders from anyone. Using his ruthless cunning to extend his influence beyond the walls of the jail, he arranges drug runs, hostage exchanges, and violent assassinations. Once merely a petty criminal, he soon is on his way to establishing a criminal empire of his own. So the movie centers upon the young Arabic 19-year-old who's the main character. He has since recently been put in jail for 6 years. So straight away he is thrust into a very brutal way of life. He doesn't know how to cope because he doesn't know how this prison operates. But pretty soon he's taught the ways by a mafia boss. Now this mafia boss is very ruthless, and he's using this guy to his advantage. So initially, the mafia boss doesn't like him because he's got Arabic heritage, because this mafia boss is pure French, and but pretty soon he takes him under his wing, and this is where the young Arabic guy, he goes from being a petty criminal and he starts worming his way up the ladder. So pretty soon he has a lot of influence inside the prison and also outside of the prison. So as a result of all this, he makes some very good friends, and he also makes some very dangerous enemies. So what's in store for this guy? That's something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now, my thoughts on this gangster/prison film. A lot of people had highly praised this movie. So it says on the front, Scarface meets The Godfather, an instant classic. And on the back, takes its place among the greatest crime films ever made. A lot of people are saying that this is the best French film ever made, and that it's kind of revitalized the French movie making. So, naturally my expectations and levels, are going to be very, very high. I was expecting something that was going to completely blow me out of the water. And being a French cinema lover, I was really, really excited to see it. Unfortunately, I don't share the love for it. It is a good film, but as far as masterpiece is concerned, I think it falls very short of the mark. Now, to start with, it is very well made. The acting is very good, but the problem with the film is that it has patches of brilliance. There are some moments where you've got this young Arabic guy. He's put into the jail, and you feel that he's lost. You feel that he's way out of his depth, and you get a liking for him. And when he commits this horrible act, his first horrible act, you get a strong sense of sympathy because it feels like he's repenting, and he's kind of haunted by this event, and therefore you kind of feel that, yeah, he's done a bad thing, but the jail's forcing him to do this. And it's kind of like these vultures, who are the more experienced prisoners, taking advantage of this innocent guy. But the problem with the film is that it has moments of brilliance. There's some exchanges with, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but it does feature a haunting sort of episode, and I felt that was really touching, really, really beautiful. And as I said, you get a sympathy for this character because you feel that you understand why he did it. He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. So that really held me and kept me connected with this character. But then it feels like after that moment has happened, he forgets about it. The director forgets about it, and this young Arabic guy does it again. So once you feel that he's learnt from his problems, he goes and does something else. So pretty soon, after the third or fourth time, you feel no more sympathy for him. You feel that this guy does not learn from his mistakes, and he doesn't care. Therefore, if he doesn't care about anybody else, why should you care about him? And so that's the film's biggest disappointment, is the fact that it had moments of brilliance, but it never sustains it, and it kind of forgets it. I don't know if the director was trying to do a little bit too much, but it is a very long film, 160 minutes. I really would have liked him to keep on to a moment of brilliance and just play out on it a little bit more, because it's just, brilliant, then it goes into a lull, and then there's another brilliant moment, then it goes into a lull, and there's other things, there's religious sort of undertones that are never really explained. It's one of the characters will say something about a prophet, and you feel, that's really interesting, but it's like that segment that I just told you about him learning from his mistakes. It's forgotten, and then it just goes on and doesn't explain anything else. So there are patches of brilliance, but it's never expanded on to make it really work that well. It's 160 minutes, and that's another problem I had with the film, is that's way too long, because you don't care for the characters, because they're all slime bags, they're all criminals, they're all killing each other, they're all trying to betray each other, so you don't feel like they're good people, therefore you don't connect with them, and that means that the film becomes very tedious. You feel that it goes for 160 minutes, even longer. And for a movie like this to work for this length, you have to be able to connect to the character, and that was the biggest disappointment. As I said, once again, at the start of the movie, you feel sorry for this guy, and I really would have liked it to stay in this haunting sort of process after his first crime, and I thought that would have been a lot better because you can sympathise for him, you want him to get out of jail, but then as he keeps on doing it, you feel to yourself, well, that scene of him being haunted doesn't really make sense because it doesn't feel like this guy has learned his lesson. Although he might be feeling sorry that he did this, he's doing it again. So it's very shallow. It does the character development is there, but it feels like the film doesn't know how to maintain a purpose. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Whether you want to feel sorry for this character or whether you want to hate this character, because he does some pretty ghastly things, and on the other hand, he does some pretty good things. And I know that it's kind of like saying prison is corrupting, and I could appreciate that sort of aspect to it, but as I said, nothing is ever expanded on. Just when you feel you know where the movie is going to go, he kind of takes a different direction in, not a good way. It is unpredictable, but as I said, it is a movie that it doesn't play as well as it should have. And as far as gangster films are concerned, it does follow a very similar formula. That's one criticism I have of gangster movies, is that if you've seen one, you've seen them all, as far as I'm concerned. Just my opinion, but I know a few of you out there are gangster lovers. But yeah, I mean, this film, it is brutal in patches, so if you're a fan of brutality, you're going to get something out of this. But be very careful because it's more of a character-based film, and for that I appreciate it. The characters were very rich in depth, the acting was very good, but as I said, it felt like the director doesn't know exactly how to expand on a good idea. And that, as I said, at the start of the movie, you've got the haunting process, which I thought worked really well, but then it just breaks free and it just forgets that. Then it goes to another sort of religious undertone, then it breaks free and forgets that, and it just keeps on going. It goes into something with depth, and then it comes straight back out and goes along again. So it's not maintained, therefore the interest is not maintained, and it really does feel like it drags a lot. So as far as a masterpiece is concerned, this one is definitely not a masterpiece in my opinion, but it is a movie I would say definitely go and see if you're a fan of gangster films, but just be careful because I felt that it fell well short of the mark. So 3.5 stars for the prison French film A Prophet. It does come recommended, but be careful, it's nowhere near as good as a lot of people make it out to be. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.